Hey guys, this is Joe with that hashtag show. This is hashtag After Dark. It's a stream we just kind of made up on the fly. We just figured that there was a lot of things going on right now. Daniel's changed his shirt for about the 14th time.
I think so. This one, hopefully I won't sweat through.
Oh, you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
What else? We're going to be talking about a lot of things tonight. Well, we've been talking about issues, controversial issues, possibly talking about what happened at Pheonix Comic Con. Hey, Jalen Glover, we're going to be interacting with you, the people watching at home, and just everything.
So just the heads up, don't nobody get their panties up in a bunch. We're gonna be talking the utmost shit.
This is hashtag After Dark. So
I think we promoted amongst ourselves as like we're going to be talking a lot of shit. But the truth is, we don't know what we're going to be talking about.
We don't.
We're just going to be talking
We're
about
just gonna be
stuff.
talking, you know. Just
Fuck though.
But
yeah,
it is After
like
Dark.
viewer
We're also-
discretion is advised.
Yes, and we're also going to be drinking, so if that's a problem for you, tough shit.
I have water.
So
He says it's water. That's
first
water.
thing I do want to talk about, though,
would
is
say
Pheonix
that's
Comic Con. I want to talk about Pheonix Comic Con and the controversy that happened at Pheonix Comic Con. For those of you that don't know what happened at Pheonix Comic Con, Daniel, why don't you fill them in?
All right. Well, a guy from Hawthorne, California, showed up to Pheonix Comic Con with a plan. He came with a plan to
good.
One, kill JDF. I don't know if it's a very good plan. Do you hate it?
No, what I mean by good plan is like, dude was ready. Like, if nothing else, he came in with more than what was necessary into this con.
Yeah.
3 handguns, throwing knives. I've heard like reports of a grenade, a shotgun, body armor, ammunition.
I do also like the fact that it's getting more and more. He came in with a rocket launcher.
Yeah, right. Like
Bazooka.
people are like, he shot the predator before he walked in. Like the story gets bigger and bigger.
The constants that I see though is that 3 handguns, body armor, ammunition, and throwing knives. Now, those are the constants I see. But the shotgun and the grenades, those are new, like in random. Like
I gotta ask you guys a question. I'm gonna try not to be super formal about this because truth is, it's just an open forum. Now, what do you guys feel about when I'm sure people are gonna watch this and be like, oh, they're not taking it seriously. And guess what? I'm not. You know, I'll tell you why I'm not. It's because it didn't fucking happen. It got stopped. Thank God it did because people did their jobs.
Yeah.
But regardless of that, you know. Truth is, yes, it sucks for cosplayers now because you're not going to be allowed props and weapons, and it just takes one bad apple to ruin it all.
Yeah.
But, you know, I feel like we can make light of it a little bit because what a fucking idiot. You know what I mean? Like, what kind of moron?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say it, the M word.
No, I'm not going to say it. No, it's stupid.
Mutton.
If you want it, no, I know what the
That's
fuck.
what I'm saying. It's the M word, guys. It's the M word. You thought I was gonna? No.
One man Sentai says he geared up like a vigilante from DC. Happy face. He did gear up like he did.
technically, from what I've heard, he was trying to be Punisher, and I don't know.
Unsuccessfully.
Yeah.
Well, I guess successfully. Punisher also did go to
He
jail.
did
on Netflix,
manage
so.
to get into the con, so
That's the thing.
Okay.
I mean, so Pheonix, I guess, has always been kind of lax because they never really had to worry about it.
So yeah, that's the thing.
That's why he was able to get in.
I have friends
They don't
that
do
were
in
at
shows.
that con, and they were, as I posted about it on my Facebook, they were like talking to me about it, saying like, "Oh yeah, dude, we saw like all the con employees. They were just really lax about it. Nothing was happening. They were just like letting people."
You want to
through.
hear also something else that I mean, this is going to get into a small bit of a political thing, but I think it's also interesting that the media isn't calling this a planned terrorist attack.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
Essentially, it was a terrorist attack.
This totally was.
Okay. Now.
But he's white.
If it, no, well, okay. I could have gone.
I said it.
No, I was thinking, okay, sure, I could go that route, but no. What I do want to say, I want to go another route. I'm going to play this out.
Yeah.
He had one intended target. And was it the plan, if he wasn't able to get that intended target, then he was going to go for the police? Or just police that were trying to stop him from...
This guy was crazy.
Yeah, he was straight up.
Because I hear that somehow it was going to be JDF and the police, but I don't know if it was, okay, he's really just going for JDF.
Yeah,
and the
why
police got in
did he?
his
What
way.
was his beef with JDF? man?
So, from what I understand, this apparently has been debunked, but from all the articles that I've read, apparently about 15 years ago-ish, Home Dude had some sort of altercation with him, stabbed him.
Was he in line and his nose started to bleed and he got...
Oh shit, I don't walk in
out of
now.
line?
Yeah,
I can't wait in line. I've got to go. I can't be here anymore. Oh, God.
And then he just got upset.
yeah, like apparently he stabbed JDF and couldn't finish a job. So here he is 15 years later trying to finish it. That's what I've been told, and a bunch of articles have
So
said
the
the same thing.
prequel, if this was a movie,
But
the
apparently,
prequel.
yeah.
Was incompetence. That's what the prequel was. He's complete and
Oh
utter
no, I
incompetence.
stabbed you! Shit! I'll try again 15 years later.
JDF is looking like,
What
because
the fuck?
apparently he didn't stab him, so he probably was like, yeah, and he's like, damn it, I just realized
Damn
this
it.
is a foam sword, and then he's like, now I have real weapons. And he came
That's
for
kind of
him, like-
ridiculous. I mean, like, well, let me ask you guys this. Just taking it, we obviously batshit crazy, but what do you guys think this means for the cosplay community?
It's not good. Well, first of all, because I know there's a lot of cosplayers already like, oh, now we can't, jokingly, oh, we can't bring in our swords, we can't bring in our guns, you know.
Well,
like,
we had Brianna on the show earlier,
uh-huh.
who jokingly said to you, I guess that's the it for props. She's a cosplayer.
Well, that's it for
Oh, yeah.
props. Like, what am I gonna do? Unless it's some giant, like, enormous kind of like, oh, look, it's this type of gun from Overwatch or something, where you're like, okay, there can't be a real gun inside, hopefully. Then they're not gonna let anybody in anymore, and they're gonna look for red tips from now on, or maybe that may be the thing. Well, you have to have your red tips and orange tips.
I thought
or
that was
whatever.
like something that had to happen. I thought
Well,
you had to happen.
in the U.S., yeah, but you know,
In the
cosplayers.
US.
I mean, Phoenix is still a part of the U.S.
But it's Phoenix.
Cosplayers-
But cosplayers can paint it like
Cosplayers,
paint it
like,
black,
you know,
whatever. You know?
they want everything to be accurate, to be like, oh, when they take this picture, it has to be perfect, you know? And so if you add that orange tip, nope, inaccurate. Doesn't matter.
I want to talk now. We're going to switch subjects a little bit.
Go.
Oh man. I was laughing when he said accurate because I just thought about something.
I have a question.
There's some people that just aren't accurate. I don't want to be that guy. But I'm not a cosplayer, all right? I'm not a cosplayer.
Have you ever cosplayed in your
the
life?
reason I'm not a cosplayer is because of all this. This is not accurate.
You could be,
This is not accurate for anything I would ever play a cosplayer.
Roadhog.
You totally could play the kid
Roadhog from
Hook.
Overwatch.
You can also be the kid from Hook that rolled.
Oh, I could be that. Okay, I could be that kid. I could be that kid.
You could be
I could do that.
Coltrane from Gears of War.
Coltrane, is he like just a...
Oh no, but he's like,
No, because this is still here. So
don't
with
know.
it, I'm just saying, when it comes to accuracy with cosplay, all right, there's a thing where people will go crazy over it. And they're always like, oh, well, be accurate. Do this for cosplay. Do that for cosplay. And, you know, I can't believe, like, why this person gets to do this for cosplay or why they get to do that. And they're talking about accuracy's sake, and they want to be so accurate. Well, and that's where it's like, okay,
Classic Poke Ranger, yo.
don't go ahead and bash people.
Yeah.
When it comes to accuracy, where sometimes you're not as accurate.
Oh,
as,
One Man
as you would
Sentai
want them
says
to
you
too.
could be Hunk from Voltron.
Oh heck yeah, I could. Oh man, he is literally like like a bulky bear kind of guy.
Jezzer, make
That's
him
it.
Hunk's armor.
Yeah. I'll just be a little bit darker. I mean, he's Filipino, though, right? Like he's Hawaiian or Filipino.
I don't know what
'Cause
it
he's
is.
darker than
Oh, then
everybody
you can't.
else.
That's
you
not
know?
accurate. So,
Oh damn it.
Maybe he's just tan.
yeah. So
Tan,
back
with
to
really
this,
nice hair,
you're,
like a black dude with
continue
perm
about
hair.
your
Oh,
accuracy.
okay, the whole accuracy thing, it's like, well, people complain, okay, they want to be accurate as possible and all these things.
Yeah.
But sometimes you look at these people that are complaining about accuracy, and if you want to be accurate, like just like an actor would be, well, then you have to do some things. For instance, if I want talking about I want to be accurate and I want to be Blade, well, this has to go, doesn't it? I'm being honest, this has to go. And I'm talking about me. So if I'm talking about me and I'm that harsh, what do you think I'm thinking sometimes when it comes to other cosplayers and the ones that complain about that accuracy, the ones that give the bullshit about it, because other ones that are just like cosplayers.
And then
for
wait,
fun,
let me
those
preface
are the
this.
people I love.
This is not a bash on.
No, it's not. No, because the cosplayers that are like cosplayers for love, cosplayers for fun, these are the people that I like.
Oh, I got a
because
question
that's
for
what
both
it's
of you. I
for.
got a question for both
That's
of
what it's for.
We were talking about this earlier. It's like if you had to put all these cosplayers in like high school like lunchroom, they're that table. They're the ones that no one likes. They're that clique.
They're like the plastics or whatever. Like they're the elite, the cosplay elite that always have shit to talk about. Either somebody's cosplay, how the costume looks, how they're dressed, how it's not accurate,
That.
and blah blah. But you're like, oh, okay, great. You make a point.
You
Make a
can't
point.
cosplay this because of controversy.
Yeah, like they
shut
have
the hell up.
so many complaints about it, and then you're like, oh, that's true. And what are you cosplaying as? I'm Harley Quinn. Wow. Harley Quinn that gained how much? Like, what did you eat before you did this? I mean, you're gonna go into it. If you're gonna talk shit about them, to be ready to talk shit about
God
yourself.
forbid it's fun.
Be shit about yourself. But the thing is, what I'm saying is, there shouldn't be that. That
Yeah.
shouldn't be the culture in cosplay. Culture in cosplay should be, let's have fun. Let's just hey, I'm getting to embody the character that I like. And then people go even farther, and they complain about film.
You know, my biggest problem.
They complain about
my
film.
biggest problem with this whole conversation isn't necessarily what people are cosplaying, how they cosplay. I could care less. My biggest problem is when you belittle people in this community and you make them feel small to make yourself feel big. That's when I have a problem with it. And listen, for those, and I'm just gonna pull the curtain back a little bit. For those that don't know me, and they can sit there and say, "Well, Joe, you're an elitist." You're goddamn right I am. But the truth, but you know what? The truth is, I'm not gonna shy away from it. I'm not gonna say that I'm not.
He is.
So it's like a lot of these people are like, "Oh, we're for everybody. We're all about the community. We're all about this." For real though, are you? Because there's certain people that I know personally that would be like, "Oh, you know what? I'm all about the community. I'm all about this." It's like, but oh, you know, I'm not willing to do these charity events because a lot of these people are talking about like how much they do. Well, when do I ever see you post pictures at a charity event or giving back to anything in the community?
When's the last time?
Just saying, like, I mean, again, I'm not shitting on the cosplayers because and another thing too, like, I'm also appreciative of not necessarily, and listen, all the people that put in hardcore work, great, good on you. That's amazing.
That's
however,
incredible.
that doesn't give you the right to say anything bad about somebody that either A, bought their costume, or B, maybe doesn't have the skill level you have, because everybody has to start somewhere. Because it's the same thing, because I'll run into a lot of these cosplayers in general too, and I'll be like, "Oh, how did you get in? You must be so lucky to get into interviewing all these people." I worked my ass off, just like you did to fit your ass into this costume. So, you know, like it goes a little bit of both ways. So that's just my whole thing about it. I don't necessarily.
You know what? When you're bringing it up and you're like, well, the charities and everything, naming some names.
Like, are
People, I'm naming good names, I'm not naming bad names right now. Calm down. I wasn't
Just-
gonna be
just getting so
producer freaked out like he's gonna do it. No, I'm gonna name good names. When it comes to the whole charity thing, the 501st. These people, yes, they do commission their costumes, so they don't make them.
Listen.
And also, how many charity things are they at? They are at charity things almost like 20,
Well, let me ask you-
24/7, 365.
our friends,
Let me ask
our
you-
friends
I
at the League
love
of the
that.
Geeks of East LA. That's
There
all.
you go.
But let me
that's all
ask
they
you a
do.
question
There you go.
about
Like,
the
I love
501st, though. You're right. That's true. But they're also the same group of people that are like, well, this is wrong, that's wrong. You know, you go and fix this, go fix that, go fix
Okay.
that. So,
Not every one of them, but yes.
no,
there are a
every
bunch
one of them. That's exactly what, yeah, you can't be in the 501st without passing
Oh,
the
yeah,
whole
well,
test.
no, you can't be in the 501st. And yeah, like, you have to pass.
Is
the test for
that
accuracy.
is that right?
That is true.
Is that fair? I mean, it is their group, so essentially, I guess that's fair. But
True. I mean, their mandate is for their group, but the reason for it is it because like, oh hey, we do charity and we are on television too, and blah blah yada yada, like that stuff. Because they do go on television, and if they're representing this one group, they want to be represented the best way possible.
Right.
Is that good? But also, is it done in a bad way?
I don't
Like,
know. It feels like
is there shit talking within like if you guys happen to know, as far as fans also, you guys are watching. We're asking real questions. Is there shit talking? Do you hear that from the 501st? Like, sometimes, because I know a few personally, and I'm like, oh, well, I hear the talk that they give, and, like, I'm not hearing the shit talk from them.
Right.
But I have heard people say that they do talk shit. So, I mean, do you guys know if that happens for you guys? Do you guys see that happening? Because I don't, but I've heard it.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with the 501st, but I do think that they're very harsh in terms of the way they handle things, and I'm like, whatever about it. But I understand that it's their group; they can do whatever they want. So, you know, I'm not gonna cry over it, but at the same time,
Right,
it's
right.
like, all right.
But it's cosplay as a whole. It's not your group.
No.
No, I get the 501st. Like, I'm saying that.
I feel when you start getting to the point where you belittle people, it's when it becomes an issue. Or also another thing I dislike too is when some of these cosplayers will be like, "Oh, well, I'll never take my clothes off." But it's like, well, I do it because I love the characters. Do you though? Because all these cosplayers I see with their fucking phones out.
Okay.
If you love the characters so much, why do you need your cell phone to update your social media? Just be the character. You know what I mean? Like, it just baffles me sometimes.
Well, the thing about now, this is where it does what grinds my gears. The taking off the clothes. The taking off the clothes. Your cosplay shouldn't center around how big your boobs are. Your cosplay shouldn't center around like your six pack. Unless it
it's
is that
like-
character.
Or
Because
unless it's like
sometimes-
completely unavoidable.
Well,
There's
yeah,
also
yeah,
that
like
too.
there is that like, okay, hey, you have to
But
be,
listen,
you
I
have
don't
to be
want us
Goku,
to.
and yet you are.
I don't
already
want us
ripped.
to sound
Fucking
like
no.
we're body shaming people that are doing
No,
great
no, no,
shit.
no, no.
But I think a bigger problem is when people cosplay things that they have no idea who the fucking character is. Like that bothers me more. It's kind of
That
like,
bothers me a lot.
Oh, take my picture. I'm fucking Harley Quinn from the movie. Oh, cool. Who created Harley Quinn? Well, I don't know. I just saw her in the Suicide Squad.
That's actually
you
the-
saw her in this shitty movie, and you're gonna wear that? Like what?
I like the movie.
I don't. You like? That's another issue. Let's talk about this.
How me liking the movie?
You liked Suicide Squad?
Oh, you know what else I liked?
The Matrix.
Batman v Superman.
I like that
You're,
too.
you're
actually.
such a DC
Well,
fan.
Well, I love DC. I'm reading right now. I love DC.
I
as
like
far as what
Batman
I'm
v
reading.
Superman because of how like political and talky it was. But as an action movie, it was like
Yo, I'll say this right now. If anybody has to
left me
justify
wanting
to me
so much.
that the movie
That's the
was
only
good
way I
with the
justify.
extended cut, then it's not a good movie.
The only way I do justify it, he's right. He's right. The only way I ever justify that film is, yeah, there was a version in the theater, but that's not the one that I loved. It's like, well, then you didn't like the movie, which is true. I gotta say that.
One Man
The part I
Sentai has
liked.
not seen BVS or Suicide Squad.
Well,
Well,
congratulations
boy,
to you, I
BVS
will
is one of
say.
those movies that you have to watch at least once, like just to get it. Like it's its own beast.
Oh my god. You know why I think Daniel liked both of these movies is because he likes the Joker and he likes this universe. It's one of those things trying to tell yourself that something is really good, but,
I
you know
the
deep down it's bad.
I like Joker and I like Batman, but they're not my favorite. I hate when people do that. They're not. Flash is my favorite, and actually,
But the Flash was awesome in both of those movies,
Eobard,
wasn't
yeah,
it?
Eobard Thawne is my favorite villain. I mean, dude, to go back in time to become the hero so that you can ultimately still end up killing the hero, that's fucking
Hey Daniel,
demented.
would you say that the Flash is still your favorite CW DC show?
Oh yeah, it is.
Nah, no way. Supergirl's way better. For sure.
Dude, if this was like some reality show, I would fuck you and toss the water at you and just walk off. Oh my god, man!
The Flash has been telling the same story for 3 seasons.
Yeah, with a bunch of speedsters.
What
every
is
time.
the
It's
difference?
always the same.
And it's all about
I-
Barry going back in time and fixing something. Like
Well, that's when
the story has not changed.
No, but and the thing is, remember what they are doing. They are using Jeff Johns. Like he comes in and says, "Oh yeah, that's great, Berlanti. This is what I suggest."
Jeff
And then
Johns. That's a
Berlanti
great-
is
that's
also
a- I'm-
writing-
I'm
no,
glad
but
you
the
brought
thing
him
is-
up.
But you have to remember, because of that, and Berlanti also started to write for the comics also around that time.
Yeah.
So all they're gonna do is, hey, what's a storyline that you're familiar with? Oh, the only storyline I worked on. Okay, let's cover that for the entire series. That's exactly what they are doing. They don't know any better, and I am not gonna deny it. I like shit. And I will talk shit about shit that I like, but it's true. That is true. But I love it anyway.
I'm not saying
do.
I'm not saying
I
it's
do.
bad. It's not Arrow bad. Arrow's terrible.
Arrow is possibly
But-
the worst, and I know I'm gonna get people that hate me for it. But I'm
I
fucking
like Arrow though, but I've only seen season 1. Granted,
Oh, no.
I've only seen
Yeah,
season 1.
season
Oh, so
two.
you only saw the good season?
No. Season 2 is the best. After that, I'm like, well, okay, Deathstroke was here. and Deathstroke was 2 or 3?
You know, The Flash was
Two,
good
yeah.
when
After
it
that,
started because it was the bright, hot, light hope of DC.
It
but
was.
now it's like, okay, so everybody has a power. Wait, and Flash is going back in time again to do this? Like, give him some regular villains. Give him a personal problem he has to deal
Well,
with.
I will tell you in next season that's exactly what's happening because I have heard what the fans
Don't
have
sell
said.
me on the promise of next season. I want to know
They've heard
what's
what
going
the,
on right
they've
now.
heard what the fans have said, which is, can we not get a speedster for once? And it was like, okay, I like that idea because I don't think we remember writing anymore.
I don't.
speedsters.
I personally just don't think that the Flash. Is,
Who, Impulse?
I think Supergirl's a
Godspeed.
smarter show. I also think that Supergirl handled the Supergirl's sister coming out way better than any other show that has ever done it.
Yeah.
Because when she came out, it was more like, hey, this is the situation, this is what it is.
Yeah.
Deal with it, kind of. It wasn't like, oh, it has to be like a whole long drawn out thing. So I don't know. I think that Supergirl's better than the Flash right now. I will say the show that I'm most looking forward to is Black Lightning.
That
That looks great.
But a lot of people are saying this. One thing.
It's not connected.
Well, one, it's not connected. Yeah, that's true. But my issue, and I'm like, why? Why the black guy can't be connected? But moving on from it, everybody's like, wow, I love it. It's pretty much just DC's Luke Cage. And I'm like, shit.
That's the dumbest
when
thing I've
people
ever
do
heard.
that connection, that automatically means
Yeah.
how many people are not going to watch the show.
But those are two. You know what?
they are.
How about this? My
Just because he's
co-host
black?
on the
Not
news
just because
feed.
that's all they're looking for.
That's it.
People are looking
My
for
co-host
reasons.
on the news feed this week said the same thing. But then, luckily, I brought it back.
yeah.
It's not the same thing.
No.
First of all, one of them is a wrongfully accused prisoner. The other one is a high school principal. They couldn't be two polar opposites.
Exactly.
So it doesn't.
A high school principal who actually was a hero.
An Olympian.
In the
He wasn't an Olympian. He was an Olympian.
Olympian, but also was a hero, retired, and then came back.
Eventually, yeah.
Exactly. So, I mean, he's like a pillar of society, not just a community.
No, yeah.
He's a pillar of society where the
An
other guy,
upright standing citizen that's
the other one was
applauded by his
The
peers,
other one was
right?
falsely accused, and then ended up in this embroiled in this thing where it's like, hey, you're here for black rights. What? I guess.
I also don't like. I don't like when fans do that. I don't like personally when people do that. They'll be like, oh, they're just two black characters that happen to be superheroes. Like, oh, that's Luke Cage, and that's the version of Luke Cage.
That's stupid.
Like, you see that so much. Like, same thing with honestly, same thing with Ant-Man and the Atom. I feel like they're very different characters. Like Ant-Man is a criminal. The other one's a scientist. Like.
Their powers are similar, but their backstories are not. Like, they couldn't be farther from, like...
That's right.
Yeah, it's just, it makes no sense. They're trying to find things to complain about.
Yeah.
Right now, we're trying to find things to complain about. This is a really... But you know what? It's out there. I think... So that covers DC shows.
Definitely.
What are you guys excited about?
What do you mean?
In the geek world right now?
Anime. But you guys know that.
You do a show on it here.
I do, every Thursday.
Let's talk it. Let's talk about it.
So let's see.
Let's talk about, you know what, Darrel, sorry to cut you off. Let's talk
Yeah.
about what annoys you about the anime community.
We're talking about things that we're airing it out, guys. We're airing it out.
What annoys me? Well, me personally, because I'm a voice actor, when people call out dubs for not being good, specifically, I understand where the history comes from. Like, English dubbed anime was not good when it first came out. It was awful. Let's be real.
Okay.
But
Translations
nowadays, I mean, there'll be those hit and misses like, oh, that could have, no. But it's actually legitimately good. And then you have the people that are like, oh no, I only watch it if it's subbed. Or it's more towards pure form. If you want it in its pure form, watch it raw without subtitles.
Do you think that those people that are like that are essentially the anime elitists, where it's like, oh, I'm only gonna watch it like this because I'm a purist. Like, I feel like, honestly, I know that a lot of Power Ranger fans are watching right now, but I feel like that's a lot of people that do that with Sentai.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, it's like, oh, the Sentai is better for everything. Is it though?
Is it? But they're two different stories. That's the thing.
Me personally, with anime, I like dubbed better. I like dubbed a lot.
I like dubbed a lot.
And I'll tell you
better.
why I like it better though, is because I can multitask and I can listen to it and watch it while I'm doing something.
I just downloaded VRV, so I can just watch Funimation shows. I can watch anime while I shower. This is amazing. I'll just have it up there, and I'll just be like, "What the shit?" It's just amazing, and I love that. But the thing, what?
Samsung.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I thought when you said in the shower, you talking about the hentai that you.
Oh no, you don't. Shh. But
one man Sentai does say, I'm trying to get more into anime. I'm still glued to the ones that are merchandise driven, like Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon.
Hey, not bad.
I mean,
Bakugan,
like,
and
whatever
Beyblade.
floats your boat. I'm not gonna, like, that's another thing that I also don't like about the community. It's like, oh, if you haven't seen this anime, you don't like anime. Like,
Oh yeah.
shut up!
Yeah, no, I feel you on that. With that being said, though, I feel that as a Power Ranger fan, this is like, and I'm gonna call myself out on this, is that I do the same thing with Power Ranger fans, because it's like, oh, when people tell me, oh, I only liked MMPR. To me, as a Power Ranger fan, it's like, oh, then you really didn't watch Power Rangers.
But I feel
I
that
understand.
way too.
I feel, yeah. Like, as a Power Ranger fan, I feel like that.
As
It's
a
me
Ranger
being
fan,
an
I get
elitist.
it.
I already said it clearly.
No, I
I'm
get
an
it.
elitist.
No, I get it. But like, just going deeper.
You know why? It's
Where
because
does that come from?
it's a little different. I would say as a Power Ranger fan, it's different than being a Marvel or DC fan.
Yeah.
It's something that listen, when you're a kid growing up in my age, and you can openly say you like Spider-Man or the X-Men, because these things were popular. But being a fan of Power Rangers when I was a kid wasn't as sexy. It wasn't as
true.
cool.
That's
so,
very true.
You know,
Wasn't as sexy. I've never thought I'd ever hear that. Being a fan of Power Rangers is sexy. I've never thought I'd ever hear
it wasn't
that.
as cool. It wasn't as cool to say. It wasn't as sexy to say. It was like, it was a little different. So, for me, it comes from like, oh, you didn't have to endure the shit I had to endure.
Oh,
and
that
you
is
didn't
so
have
true.
to deal with. You didn't have to deal with hearing all the shit talking I heard when I was a kid about Power Rangers. Now you want to be cool, and you know Jason and Billy and Tommy and Kimberly and Trini and Zach. but do you know Bridge and Sky and like you know what I mean? Like so it's like
I get it.
Do you know Vita?
it's
Do
what
you
you-
know
So
Casey?
what's it coming down from? It's,
Hey, Ryan, Ninja
it's
Steel.
it's that kid inside you that's rebelling against all the people that were like, first you talk shit about me, now you're
Yeah,
with
Yeah,
me.
that, you know
But
what?
it's
And
like,
this is, I mean,
what the hell?
honestly,
Why
it's
weren't you there with
me
there?
being kind of hypocritical because it's exactly
Same.
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I didn't like about cosplayers. Exactly
See, no,
what
but that's
my
why.
mindset.
No, but that's why I asked. So this way, it's like now you get that. Now we do get that mindset.
Yeah.
It can kind of probably be that way for some of the.
Oh, absolutely.
cosplayers.
See, listen, I'm
that
not
makes
perfect,
sense.
and I the only difference is I'm not gonna exclude people from my group that like Power Rangers.
Yeah.
So I'm
Right.
willing to embrace anybody that's willing to take it. Now I feel like there's a lot of people that in cosplay that aren't going to do like be associated. I did get a one-man Sentai. Joe is taking the words right out of my mouth now, and
Yeah.
the issues about being a Power Ranger and issues about being a Power
The
Ranger.
thing I don't like
Thank you,
about
thank you,
that
One
whole
Man
thing
Sentai.
is that like people who only like the Mighty Morphin is they grew up with it. I understand that, and you know me in the back of my head is like, oh, that means you really didn't like Power Rangers because Mighty Morphin, looking at it objectively, is a pretty bad series. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you said today too. It felt dated. Yeah, I mean,
It's super dated, and I totally get it. You know, it's the first one, but the thing is that the Ranger series get progressively better, and then
Yes.
but you have the fans that are like, oh no, it's not Power Rangers anymore. What? Do you just not like storytelling? Do you not like characters?
Here's another thing too, and on the flip side of that, like I love listening to podcasts. It's all I listen to.
Right.
And there's certain podcasts which I love, by the way, that review Power Ranger shows, and there's certain ones I'll listen to them. Now, one of the notable ones I love a lot is actually Range Command Power Hour.
Oh,
With
yeah, with Eric.
He's great.
Yes.
But other shows,
Love
there are
that.
other shows where it's to me, it's kind of like, man, no matter what Power Rangers does, you're not gonna like it. Then I think to myself, well, why? First of all, the season's not meant for people our age. Number one.
Right.
So I can't be complaining too hard about the things that I'm seeing. However, as a fan in general, I feel like I have that right. But at the same time, it's not meant for my demographic.
Yes, definitely. I
Now,
agree 100%.
I think that it is noteworthy to say that good storytelling is good storytelling, and that's what it comes down to. Because there's shows that aren't meant for me, and I'll tell you one right now that a lot of people loved was Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Do you not like Avatar?
I've never seen it, but I've heard it's great things. I have nothing against it.
You should watch it. Just
Well, I have nothing against it, but the reason I'm bringing that show up in general is because it's not a show that was geared towards my age group. However, I hear nothing but good things about the show from people in my age group. So that's just good storytelling.
Right.
In Legend of Korra.
See, that's what I mean. Like, Power Rangers
Changed my
has
life.
no excuse for like all the stuff. We talked about this in the Ranger or Henshin Hangout, which we're probably gonna post later on.
Friday.
But it's like you have a show like Avatar, and you have no excuse for like good storytelling. You know, and that's why I get mad about like people that don't like newer Power Ranger series. It's like I totally get where you're coming from. It's not for you. But to say that this isn't Power Rangers, where does that come from?
That's
you know,
true.
I don't understand that.
But I do like that you just pointed out. Avatar was indeed a series that did exactly like you said.
It
We
was
did talk about it in
intended
Hangout.
for kids.
It grew with
There's
it
storytelling
grew,
there.
It grew with its audience too, because when it first started, there was just it was childish.
It was cool. It was like,
sophomore
oh hey,
and
we just
romance
found a
and-
kid in an iceberg, and now you have to save the world.
All right, so
Yeah,
there's a
and
couple
then it
comments
gets
I want to
darker
read
and
real
better.
quick. Nahum Dreyer says, I hate when someone in the anime community tells me that I'm not a true/real DBZ fan because I prefer the dub over the Japanese version of DBZ. Darrel, thoughts?
So, first of all, you're not a bad person because I know for a fact there was this giant poll and even Japan agreed that the English dub is better than the Japanese dub. Now, to that woman's credit who plays Goku, she's an incredible actress.
How'd she
But
sound
I
again?
I can't stand that. No, it's just if they want to watch it in Japanese, that's cool. However, the English voices, in my personal opinion, and like more than half the world agrees that the English Funimation dub is in fact the superior one.
I agree. Sean Schemmel is Goku to me.
Come on,
Yeah.
that's it. Like I love it, and that's how I prefer to watch the show. And sometimes people do get upset with that. And there are some shows where I'm like, no, I need to only watch like just exactly what it is, like Sentai.
Yeah,
Now,
like,
this one's for you, Daniel.
like not to shoot them down, but
There's so many shows that have good/entertaining storytelling that can catch an eye of anyone. Avatar, Power Rangers, even the amazing world of Gumball.
Oh, I love that show!
Such a
Now,
good
Daniel,
show.
are there any shows you think you want to add on to that maybe might not be meant for us, but you're like, wow, that was amazing? Because I hear a lot of Adventure Time.
Adventure Time is great. Adventure Time is one of those shows because I went to an art school before, like going into voice acting, and so I know a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff about how it was pitched as this post-apocalyptic world and blah blah blah. And it's great, and I love that it's like this really light-hearted show. But if you look behind the scenes, you have all this like really dark, like what's his name, Ice King. His backstory
Is one of the saddest
It
stories.
makes me
It's
so sad.
Tragic. It's tragic.
Have you seen it? So
He's a
I
tragic
can't get
character.
into it.
So,
It's
so
a tragic
spoiler alert for whoever. Ice King apparently is, I forgot how, but he just
Simon Petroglyph and
he just goes insane like over time, and he just becomes this really senile.
and they show how it happened too, like just gradually, and it's because of the crown. And it was a sad moment where Mark.
Oh, that's right, it was the crown, that's right.
Sings a song where he had to choose to save her and the world. I have to choose to go insane and forget who I am, or I can at least just save myself at this moment. And he chose the world, and it was somber. That's why I'm talking like I slowed down. It's one of those moments where you're like,
Yeah.
shit, this is kids' TV.
Yeah, this is
like,
a kid's
One
show.
moment that blew my mind was when Finn, the lead character, finally meets his father.
Yes.
His father is not only an absentee father, but a father that doesn't
I
want to be there.
pronounced Nahum Dyer's last name wrong.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
Another one that, sorry to cut you off. Jezer says that another one of those is Steven Universe.
Steven
Steven
Universe
Universe.
is really good. Well, that whole group, but it's not as good as
The thing
Adventure
is,
Time for
okay,
me.
so really touching upon this really quickly, Steven Universe is an incredible cartoon, and I love the cartoon, but I've only seen a couple episodes, don't check me. But like, there's this really toxic community surrounding it. Yeah, it's
What do you mean?
Explain, yeah.
like Steven Universe. I don't know all the specifics. There's one specific incident that comes to mind where there was this one, I believe, DeviantArt artist posted something that wasn't even controversial, but a bunch of Tumblr and DeviantArt users were like, "No, this is wrong," and like we're egging this person on to commit suicide or something. It was stupid. If someone knows what I'm talking about, I'm probably like wrong, but I know there's this really toxic community
In
around
Steven
it.
Universe?
Yeah, because
Just
Steven
the
Universe
fans.
is very pro LGBTQ plus, and so instead of people being like, yeah, this is awesome, they're using that as a flagship to like, we're amazing, we're powerful, we're blah blah blah, and they're taking it out of control.
This is the problem.
What up, Larry Newbill?
It's like they say, the problem with humanity. When you create a group that is inclusive, immediately you're looking for a way to exclude.
Yes.
Immediately, and that's what always happens. It's like, oh, now we're all here together and we're all great. Now that we're happy, who's that guy? Let's exclude him. And
Yeah,
you're like, well,
see,
why?
that's the thing. Like, it was at its beginning and its inception. Sorry, it was a very great idea.
So there
But
is
it
an
just-
article we were able to find called from the Daily Dot. Steven Universe fandom is melting down after bully fan art artist attempts suicide.
That's the one I'm talking about.
Steven Universe is a beloved animated children's show known for its smart and progressive depiction of its diversity and lovable cast of characters. But these positive qualities in the show itself have led to a very ugly turn in events in the Steven Universe fandom. After a beleaguered fan artist said that she attempted suicide after being bullied by members of the fandom who felt her art was problematic. In a bizarre turn of events prompted by an ensuing debate over what kind of fan art are acceptable, some fans have now turned against the show's creative team, including creator Rebecca Sugar. Now, I'm not going to read the full article. You can check that out at the Daily Dot. But this is where it starts, and I think that's quite ridiculous.
But see, that's what I mean. It's like it started over something so simple and like that shouldn't be. It's a piece of art. It's our own expression. But then you have this whole community. Like, I'm not saying everyone in the Steven Universe community is bad. Obviously not. I'm not singling out anyone. But there's that cult group that just has to like blow things out of control. It's like this.
Would you say that's in every fandom though?
Oh yeah, that's totally in every fandom. But I've never heard a fandom that like egging on a person to commit suicide. Like, I mean, I'm sure there are, but that's a really big example, especially recently.
But going in and adding a show, as you asked before, besides Adventure Time and maybe there's a show that's on Frederator that our friend did a song for. Chris did a song for it. It's like, I forgot, something Warriors. Something Warriors. I don't know if it's like...
Bravest Warriors!
Bravest Warriors.
Yeah.
That show is hilarious. It's pretty much Adventure Time with the wheels taken off, with the training wheels taken off. So it's
basically.
it's for an older audience.
You know what we should do? We should actually...
and it's really good.
Tony,
it's
stop
such a good
spamming.
show.
What is this? Ninja Steel on Netflix would give characters more time to build.
It's a really good show.
I
That's
think
what
what we
definitely
should
suggest
do.
you should
Well,
watch.
let's Bravest Warriors. I mean, there's a lot of fandoms out there that a lot of people don't like. But or I shouldn't say don't like, but the people are definitely more
Not the best.
not the best. Yeah. Can we talk about something real quick?
Go.
I want to talk about what your guys' thoughts on spoilers are. Like, what's appropriate for spoilers?
That's such a...
A warning.
I mean...
That's appropriate. You can choose to watch it or not.
is
But
your
how does
question-
it affect your social media? Because let's say Game of Thrones was on tonight, and we're not watching it. We're here doing a show. What are your thoughts on people posting it on social media? Should there be a limit? Should there not be a limit? What's your...
Oh, okay, so that's what you mean.
I'm saying, once again, just at least hit me with a spoiler before you start talking about it or anything like that. That's all I need. If I get that, I know who not to look at, who not to pay attention to, who not to read on these particular days. I can do that.
Yeah.
Everyone can do that. But there are some people who are like, oh, you ruined my day because I happened to read it.
There are people...
Why did you happen to read it? I mean, I just said, hey, I'm going to do Game of Thrones. Hey, this is a spoiler. Well, then, if you choose to scroll down
but
and
is it
continue,
dickish
it's your
move if
fault.
nobody does a spoiler warning on a public
It's
post?
a dickish move.
Yeah.
You know how it is
Because
now, according
people,
to Nerd World.
Yeah, because people want to experience it firsthand, and if you don't have a spoiler on it,
I don't... Listen,
This
I'm playing
guy.
devil's advocate.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why I'm going to play devil's advocate for a
Because that's
second.
what he does.
No. Because the whole thing is, if you're so reliant on going on your Facebook, you don't have to follow me.
Right, yep.
So I can say whatever I want in my public space. So why is it on me to have to, for you, to have to hold back on my thoughts?
Well, but you weren't this person, as far as what I knew, until Game of Thrones happened. Before Game of Thrones, you weren't the person. I'm just saying, we're running with it. You weren't the person that spoiled Avengers, or you weren't the person that spoiled DC any story.
But I am the person. So if I,
Right.
a lot of people know me as doing a lot of spoilers, especially if you're on hashtag. So
Now, if I do know you as that, well, then I should tread lightly. That's what I feel. But if I don't know you and then all of a sudden you turn out to be that, well, you're a dick.
I don't
in my
know.
opinion.
I feel that everybody has their own public form of what they want to do, and I feel that it's not necessarily on that person. It's more so for me, it's pretty much people. I understand both sides, but what I hear from certain people is like, "Oh, you're a dick. You didn't put a spoiler warning." Well, it's like, get off of your computer, dude. You don't have to. It's not a right to have a Facebook. That's just the thing. You know what I mean? That's what I feel
the spoiler thing just runs in a little gray area, and so that's why I can't either I can't really add because you mentioned everything. It's I know who I'm going to be following. Oh, there's a spoiler. Oh shit, you're a dick. Just keep scrolling. I guess it's in this gray area.
Our producer Josh says Facebook should add a spoiler tag though to post.
I do agree with that.
That makes sense.
But One Man Sentai says, like Joe said before about Legendary Battle, it would have been great if it wasn't spoiled so much. I mean, spoilers do take away from it. I think take away from experience.
For me, I'm.
But you don't really care about spoilers though.
Me, I'm not. I don't care about spoilers because the way I see it, you can tell it to me, but nothing compares to when I see it actually unfold in front of me. So you may say, "Oh yeah, so and so dies," and you're like, "Oh, okay, cool." But seeing how they actually die and all that, it's dope to see. And even if you describe it down to a T, he's wearing a shirt and he does this, and at that second he literally does.
See, I'm the same way.
Cool
I'm completely the same way. But there are certain properties like playing a video game or watching an anime where I'm just no, I want to go in blind. I want to go straight in blind. There are certain ones, you guys were tiptoeing around me when you guys went to see Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't care. It's going to be a really good movie regardless.
Right.
But you guys can talk about it.
Well, here's another thing.
That's what I mean. It depends.
I mean, the way I kind of describing this is I don't think spoilers take away, and I'll tell you why. It's because A New Hope is a spoiler for Rogue One. Like, but I knew what was gonna happen. I knew everything that was gonna happen, but I still went to go see the movie. You know what I mean? So it doesn't ruin the experience of it for me.
So you watched Lost. The whole fun and adventure of Lost was seeing everything unfold and not knowing about it, because every time when it got even better and better was the surprise.
Now, I'm glad you brought up Lost, because I was just having a conversation about this show yesterday with Rob Keyes from Screen Rant. Lost is a show that needs to be brought back. And
Well, we got Twin Peaks right now, man.
we do. But notice all the shows that
I'm
are
being
coming
honest.
back. Right
You
now
guys
we
should
got
watch
Twin
that.
Peaks. We also got Prison Break. All these old shows that were around during that era are coming back now. We did get Heroes Reborn for a while. So Lost is a show that I feel can come back. But the reason I stuck around with Lost, it wasn't for how it ended or anything like that. It was the mystery of the show. It was the suspense of the show.
So then a spoiler would have taken that away from you.
No, it wouldn't have.
Well, then you know exactly what's happening. Like, all right, so Jack's dad, yeah, really, it's blah blah blah. Because I don't know, you guys may have not seen it, and you know, there's a whole.
Well,
thing about
isn't there a
rewatching.
whole thing about like it's been like 6 years.
Yeah,
since
that's
the
very
show's
true,
been
very
on
true.
the show.
Statute of limitations, but I'm just like, I don't know. So maybe somebody wants to enjoy it, so I can talk to you guys about it, because I love talking about Lost.
Listen, I don't think Lost is a spoiler, because you can spoil something on Lost, but it's still. I did get mad at my dad once because he did spoil. It was
Did you
Lost.
see that moment, son?
No,
What,
it was.
what do you,
it
Dad,
was
don't-
like
Dad,
this.
Dad, what the hell?
Yeah, like you just pick up. He don't even say hello. Oh my God!
It was.
Purgatory. Holy shit! Then hang up the
No,
phone.
it was.
Dad!
He explained it to me. Like, and the way he did it was such a dickish move too. It was like he was like, I was watching Lost, and he was like, "Oh, has so and so died yet?" And I was like, "What?"
Oh,
Like, I
shit.
was like, "What are you doing?" Like, no, that person is not dead. He's like, "Oh well, no, he clearly dies." And
I know your dad, so that's the best. I was just testing you to see if I get what? Click. Just hangs up and walks away.
Walking
Oh my
Dead is one of
God.
those shows that I've
you
learned
go.
that like I'm okay with spoilers in Walking Dead, because look, one way or another one of these characters is going to die.
Yeah.
Because I was super behind. I was like on like season 3 of Walking Dead, and people were telling me about like stuff that's happening in like season like 7, and I'm like, fucking whatever. And so
gonna
every
do?
time, they told me who was going to die, and I was like, oh, shit. Well, now I just know what's coming. And I was watching. I was like, is this where you're gonna die? Is this where? No. Next episode, that's where you died. There it is.
Let's say the reverse of that. Now, do you ever get mad at people that give you fake spoilers because they anticipate something else? Because I'll give you one. Like I told one of our friends that watch a show that a certain character dies in a show that we watch, and like because he wasn't caught up, and I was like, I told him
I like that.
I told him a Power Ranger dies in one of the episodes, and he's like, "Really? That's so crazy. It's so dark." And then he watches the whole thing. He's like, "You're a liar." But you think that that's worse? Like, I think it's funny because it's like they're anticipating something that's not going to happen.
Those are so good.
It could be a letdown, but it could be so rewarding that maybe that doesn't happen.
I mean, yes and no. I that's such a letdown, because it was like, oh man, I think that would have been better. I don't know. Maybe your lie could have been better than the actual plot. Who knows? So, actually, really quick, like, tidbit of information, like, containing spoiling. So, you guys have seen Young Justice, correct? Mm-hmm. Okay, so, Red Arrow, Speedy, he's voiced by Crispin Freeman. Now,
From Overwatch.
Yes, he plays Winston, Alucard, in that, God, what's that anime? I can't even remember. Whatever, he's a voice actor. Anyway, he voices Red Arrow. So, I learned from him. I was one of his students. He was one of those, he's one of those actors that needs to know everything about, like, his character so he can play the best part. And so, the way the studio sent out scripts the day before he betrays and learns he's the mole, they sent him a fake script. And so, they were like, okay, so this is what you're going to be doing tomorrow. Just read through it. And so when they finally went into the booth, he was ready. And he finally read it. And like, you guys can even listen to this on Netflix. I'm the mole. There's so much genuine, like, feeling in that, because he was just like so completely like led on to believe something else.
That's amazing.
And
That is
so
dope.
I heard that he was really, really mad after that, because that's just not the way he acts. And so when he finally read it, he was just so mad.
Oh my God. But speaking about spoilers, is there something that you're bringing up? Is there a spoiler?
I can't. I'm actually not allowed to talk about this this time. I have a lot of spoilers for certain movies that are going to be huge.
Well, is there someone
Samesies.
else that recently probably released something that would have kind of is a spoiler or something?
Is there
to
credits at
speculate
the
on?
end of Wonder Woman?
No.
No, none that I saw. I can say about Wonder Woman, there's no credits, no after credits that I saw. Not saying that there's not, but there's definitely. What are you talking about? What are you trying to hint at? Oh, yeah. Spoilers. So we recently just wrote an article on our website at that#show.com. We're gonna talk about spoilers. So one of the big things that happened in Power Rangers was a lot of the looks of the Power Rangers, whether it be the suits or the Zords, were revealed through toys. Now Lego. Look at that segue. He was confused for a second. But the segue there was that. So now in Star Wars, it seems that Lego has released a set of Star Wars figures, and Snoke was revealed to be one of these Legos. And it wasn't like Force Snoke. It was Snoke in regular garb. There's two reasons First of all, I don't know if we can put up a picture of Snoke, but that would be great if we could. If we can't do it, that's fine. And spoiler alert if you don't.
The Lego or actual Snoke?
The Lego. Or what we could do, in case you don't want spoilers, we could put a link to our article in the chat, and if you want to see it for yourself,
That's probably a better.
click the article in the chat. If you don't want to see it, you don't have to click the link.
Yeah.
That's simple. Me personally, I don't like spoilers like this, and I'll tell you why. Because it doesn't do justice to what they're portraying on screen, and I think this is exactly the Power Ranger syndrome for me.
Well,
because a lot
Goldar?
of people, Goldar and the Megazord. Well, the Megazord mainly because the Megazord looked way better than any form of a toy version you could have given me.
Yeah. So the problem I had with the toy Megazord was that there was two different versions of it. There was the combinable version, and there was the playable toy version that Andre, Black Nerd, and Bruno were like, it was just which one was real, which one isn't, and regardless, they both looked pretty terrible.
Okay.
And so the movie Megazord blows that all out of the water. That was amazing.
It was amazing.
Goldar's though, I still can't get behind. No matter.
Well,
how
I
many
think
times.
I think the biggest problem with Goldar wasn't. I mean, the look sucked, but another thing too that added to that was probably that Goldar had a personality and was a character, and this was just a vehicle.
You know what I think?
True.
My friend Ash and I talk about this sometimes. So I think they were just like, crap, how do we include Goldar in the movie? And they took one of the prototype Yellow Rangers and stuck it in the microwave, and this.
Well,
Perfect.
That's not true actually, because I have the first draft of the script, and Goldar is an actual character that actually ends up killing 3 of the Rangers himself. So.
What the goddamn hell?
So a lot of changes had went on, and I think that but that was a little too much.
You think?
For kids. But you think about that. That's the audience.
The original Rangers or
the original Alien Rangers?
Okay. I was gonna say, holy shit,
okay.
Jesus Christmas.
Actually, that wouldn't be bad.
So there was a lot of that. Now Ryan Super Steel Thomas says, Joe, Daniel, and Darrel, what's your first movie that you first saw that you like? It's a very vague question, Ryan.
Okay, first movie I saw that I liked.
I don't know.
Water Babies. It's an inside joke. Inside joke. So you pull the curtain back a little bit.
Never know what that is.
Yeah, you're gonna know right now.
Okay, yes.
So when we were kids, when we were young, because I've known Daniel for a very long time. When we were kids, we used to watch porn at his house. And,
we had someone that would bring it over. The way it worked, it was like, okay, I've got the place where the parents aren't home. Who has the stuff that we should do that parents aren't home for? Somebody was like, I've got porn. Okay, you've got porn. I've got a house.
I've got a house.
Let's get this done. And so we watched a porn called Water Babies.
just so
Look it up if you are adult enough. Trust me, every 2 years, I look it up on Pornhub. And I'm like, that's what I remember.
On shows like this, you're really gonna get to know.
That was the first movie I loved.
I think this is the single greatest story I've ever heard
so
of.
So much so that I loved the fact that.
Oh, you think that's the greatest story you ever heard? Actually, just wait.
So much so that I loved it so much that when we were playing it once and it was like, oh my god, we all gotta leave. I orchestrated it, so it was like, we all gotta leave. Don't worry about the video. I'll get rid of it. I'll bring it back to you. They all left, so I can watch it alone, and that's exactly it.
Nahum Dyer says, I look forward to watching Justice League in theaters in November, which I will be wearing my Superman gear, including my Superman for the upcoming.
I was gonna say, it's not
Superman cape for the upcoming
You have
movie.
blue, but-
Now I know I just put Daniel on spot and embarrassed him. Now here's a funny story about me. When I was a kid, I used to wear the Superman suit everywhere, and that's actually the only way my parents used to get me to go to church is by letting me wear my Superman suit, but they would put a suit on top of it.
Okay.
So I used to feel like Clark Kent. So I used to
Okay.
wear a suit over my Superman
Once
suit.
again, parent winning right there. That is like a complete win. You had to outthink it and be like, ah, crap, I gotta get this kid. I don't want to look like a weirdo because then they'll look at me like a weirdo. Put on a suit, son, because Clark Kent, you can't tell everybody.
Yeah,
you're
that's
Superman.
what Dad got me.
Okay, boom. Genius. Genius.
Tony Robinson says Patty Jenkins should direct Man of Steel 2.
Patty Jenkins.
Who
what
is
she-
that?
What is she? Yeah.
She directed Wonder Woman.
Oh, well, one of Joe's favorite movies at the moment.
Of the year so far, it's been
What do you think? Because you've seen Wonder Woman.
I'm not going to spoil anything on Wonder Woman, and the reason I'm not going to spoil it, not because I wouldn't do it, but because the movie's not even out yet for people to even have seen it, so it's not fair for me to spoil
Right.
it. So I'm not going to do that. But what I will say is this: is that I like Patty Jenkins a lot, and I know she's having a tough time at DC, Warner Brothers, with Jeff Johns. I don't know if that's out there, but Jeff Johns, first of all, didn't like the movie. He thought it was terrible, and he doesn't like Patty Jenkins. With that being said, Patty Jenkins doesn't feel the greatest about Jeff Johns. I will say that Patty Jenkins' version of Wonder Woman is exactly what you want to see a superhero movie be. This is one of the first, including Marvel characters, superhero where she actively wants to help people and be a hero. So it's somebody that not only, it's so funny. Just the other day, I think it was at a Target, and I saw a little kid. There were two little boys, and one of the little boys picked up the Wonder Woman action figure and was like, "I want this. This is the one I want." And I was just thinking, like, wow, that's awesome, because
That is really
when,
cool.
especially in the Power Ranger community, because Darrel, that as collectors, those are the figures that don't sell.
I don't understand that. I really don't.
So I think it was cool that
Girls
now,
are hot. Freaking pick up those figures.
Not only that, but like Wonder Woman,
They're also really cool characters.
it's a great character that just transcends gender. And I think it's so cool to see kids, like, there's a Batman, there's a Superman, there's a Lex Luthor, there's a multiple Batmans actually, but they picked up the Wonder Woman and was like, that's the one I want. That's great, and I think it's a good
I love
sign.
that.
Well, I mean, you also said it's very much like if you liked, which is one of my favorite DC.
I think the best DC animated.
Yeah, the best DC, honestly, just hands down, my opinion, one of the best DC animated films is the Wonder Woman one. The Wonder Woman origin one with her and Ares and everything.
I don't think I've
story-
seen that one.
the
You can
story
spoil
is
it. It's
so-
fine.
no, the
I'll
story
bring
is
it in next
so-
time I have it. I'll
Yeah,
spoil it.
it's on HBO Go, I think, still.
Over my head.
But it's the story is so one complete, two very at moments personal. Like you really connect with the character because it's so personal, and just to see her overcome not just the whole story of she's a woman and she has to overcome what it is to be in the boys club. No, it's just seeing a character with so much put up against them to overcome, and yet it was done in a great story and so kick-ass. Boom.
Okay.
I loved it.
And
Loved it.
also it's sparking up a lot of interest with men's fashion. Hero Within, this is on Sci-Fi Wire / Blaster. Hero Within sparks conversation about Wonder Woman fashion items for men. Now, when I was actually at the press junket, there was a huge Wonder Woman display of all this fashion. It was for women, kids, and men. And I remember even thinking, like, because there was a jean jacket there, and I was like, I want that jacket.
With
That jacket's sick.
the
W's, yeah.
double W.
Oh,
stitching.
I think I've seen a picture of that. That looks really cool.
I mean,
dope.
I personally think, yes, Patty Jenkins. Would she direct Justice League? No. I think she's doing a great job at creating Wonder Woman. I think DC's biggest problem, actually, is not letting them focus on individual characters.
Yep.
I think that Man of Steel was a decent start. I just wish they would have done a Man of Steel 2 or something else to build Superman on his own before he gets to Batman, because you're taking the shine away from him when he has to go up against Batman, and then you're putting Wonder Woman in the movie and then Aquaman. I feel like the thing that Marvel did that was really brilliant was making individual movies first before teaming them up.
Yep.
And some of them in multiple.
I feel like that should have been done with Batman at the very least. Batman should have gotten his own movie.
Like
I feel like
before they did
I feel
JLA.
like Batman versus Superman, they they showed off Batman really well, and it was very nice. Like, okay, so this is what this version's Batman can do. I did like that, but I feel like it would have been stronger if he got his own movie.
Yeah.
Like
Let me know who he is.
They did it better than I thought they would.
Yeah.
I agree. Now, a lot of people are giving DC hate, and honestly, I think out of the Geek movies, and this is Guardians of the Galaxy 2 included, I think Wonder Woman's the best one I've seen yet. But we'll have to wait and see what the box office says. I think that it has a lot of positive reaction. It's going to go in making a pretty good amount of money. It's something everybody should go out there and watch.
What do you think about? Well,
Whoa.
everybody talks about
Whoa.
casting.
Whoa.
Whoa. The casting of it. And,
What about it? I liked it.
Remember, originally I was one of the people like, oh, I want Gal Gadot. I mean, I don't want Gal Gadot. I want Gina Carano. Because, yeah.
But see, Daniel, you are also the same guy that wanted Nicolas Cage to play Superman. So
It would have worked, damn it! If it wasn't for those pesky kids and their damn dog, it would have happened. It would have happened.
you have the worst casting choices in Some of Mankind.
I think in that case, yes, I definitely did. When we were playing,
He
recently-
wanted Robin Williams to play Mr. Fantastic. I think.
Wait, what? What the fuck?
said-
Get the fuck?
He said he
Williams.
wanted
What did
Eddie
we just
Murphy
say?
to play Blade, and I didn't understand why.
That is not even the case.
I would pay to
No,
see
but what
that.
did we just say?
I would pay to see that.
You stole my whole Mr. Fan. You stole my
I
Fantastic
pretty
Four.
much.
cast.
Well, yeah.
He stole. He pretty much.
I
My
said
Fantastic
Chickens
Four.
was still good for a voice.
My
but I want him
my
added.
Fantastic Forecast was this. I wanted and I'll start from the Thing. For Thing, I wanted it to be Bruce Willis. I think he would be great. He's an old school star that could be on the uprise,
pretty good.
kind of like the Mel Gibson or like the I guess we could say Kurt Russell. He can get that role. I think I wanted Zac Efron for Human Torch.
I would have agreed with that.
Perfect
But
for the
we
role.
both said that at the same time.
He embodies that, right? For now, this is a twofold because it depends on if you want to go older or younger. If you're going older, Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman. If you're going older, Rebecca Ferguson would have been my choice for the Invisible Woman. And I think for Mr. Fantastic, I would have went George Clooney. If you're going younger, I think you go Emily Blunt and John Krasinski from The Office. And Dr. Doom, if you're going older, I think you go Christoph Waltz. But now, if you go younger, I'm thinking there's two actors that can do this now. I think one of them is Luke Evans, because Luke Evans has a wide acting range and he can sing, he can perform. Or you go Vincent Cassel, who was he was the villain in Ocean's 12. Like, I think he would have been great too.
Okay. Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that exact cast. Exactly. So yeah, that matches up. So I may have some bad options when it comes to casting. I don't
Remember
know.
that time?
Nicolas Cage was still pretty good as
You remember that time?
Ghost Rider with Avengers. Idris Elba was in the film, guys.
You remember that
please,
time that we used to have a podcast and Josh made us cast The Last Unicorn? Remember that?
The last
I didn't give a
unicorn.
fuck about who I casted, but my cast was still pretty good on
Now-
that when I was shocked.
But that's exactly. Behind the scenes, I heard the AP ask the producer, "What's the last unicorn?" we thought the same thing when we were doing it. But
It's on Netflix.
it is on Netflix.
It's on Netflix. You can
Boschi,
suffer.
Ralph Boschi is a pretty good animation guy. Though,
Oh, my
I will say.
goodness. Fire and Ice, right?
You asked about my opinions on Gal Gadot. What are your opinions, Darrel?
I thought I was a little skeptical at first because I've only seen her in Fast Furious. But like everything that I've seen as far as trailers and like Batman vs Superman, sold. Immediately sold. I was like, and then I saw a gif of her spinning around doing the original Wonder Woman thing, and that smile she did, I was like, oh, I'm getting weak. Lord. So I was sold.
My opinion is this. I feel that girls that aren't accepting of Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman are A, body shaming her.
Okay.
That's number one.
Okay.
And two, don't know what the fuck they're talking about. See, here's my thing. Gal Gadot might not be your average girl. She's tall, she's thin, whatever it may be. But I think Gal Gadot is a perfect example of people that say she's too skinny or too thin. She's the perfect example of any girl that's told that they're too something, that they can't be something else.
Yes,
So
I agree.
I think it's bullshit for people to label her as like, oh, you're too small, you're too thin, you're not an Amazon. Well, guess fucking what? Superman is too short. Superman's too short. Henry Cavill's 6'1". Superman's supposed to be a towering 6'3". Hugh Jackman's too tall. The biggest thing about Wolverine is that he is called Runt for a reason. He has a little man complex. He's not a 6'4" god like Hugh Jackman.
No.
And Aquaman is nothing like the fucking character.
It's not a
that he's
Polynesian
portraying.
guy
No.
tatted up and everything
He's
like
supposed
that.
to. He's
Yeah.
supposed to exude royalty. He's supposed to be this pristine royal guy, not Khal Drago from Game of Thrones. So, people out there watching that might agree with me, thank you. For those of you that don't agree with me, and a lot of them have been girls. Let me just say,
That's true.
Those girls that don't agree with me, it's because of it's for a lot of different reasons.
Right.
But you're the same problem that you're trying to fight. And what that problem is you guys are hating on girls to hate on girls. Not necessarily, if you guys are all about women empowerment, you should be proud that you're even seeing a female superhero directed by a female director. You guys should cut the bullshit and really go and support it rather than trying to tear it down, because what you're doing is you're telling society and everybody else, like misogynist dudes out there, that yeah, she can't do it. She's just a broad. She's too skinny. Go fuck yourselves.
Here's your mic to drop. I just.
Oh,
But that didn't break actually.
but I really like. Oh man.
Right here. Like, I feel like it lights up. No, but originally I wanted Gina Carano because I just came right off of Haywire. I love that movie. A lot of people didn't like it. They said, well, why cast someone who's not a good actor?
Jalen Glover, Gal Gadot is the best Wonder Woman ever. I think, like the people.
No,
that
I
are-
agree.
that are-
I agree. No, but that's why I wanted. And they say like, well, why cast her anyway? She couldn't act. Blah blah yada yada. It's true. Haywire, she didn't act. She didn't actually say more than probably 5 words because they knew she wasn't a good actress. But she physically was able to, do everything. Gal Gadot gets on the screen on Batman vs Superman. The first moment we see her, badass, gets up and saves Batman with the shield, and then literally drops that shield down. You start to from right here. That song comes on, and it's so fucking like boom, 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 and she's sitting there like, oh, I'm ready to beat the shit out of somebody.
Dusk
And then
751
just goes
says,
for it.
"You are awesome. Preach it." Thank you, Dusk.
Damn right.
751.
But she goes in for it and she proves herself. Gal Gadot does when she starts going toe to toe with Doomsday, and she gets that one good hit from him. She lays back, and it's one of those like, finally somebody that really wants to fucking fight. Like, I love that moment where it's like, bow. She goes like that, like licks the blood off the corner of her mouth.
Minutes. Let me
Yeah,
know.
she licks the blood off her mouth and just like, all right, and goes for it like, yeah. It was just like automatically. I came out of the film like, she stole the show. I need to go fight somebody now.
Yeah.
It's like that good. I wanted to wear a shield and to carry a sword, not wear the broad shit, but just the shield and the sword. Hey, you're gonna judge me? I don't know. Whatever. You want to fight about it? I'm just saying. But I'm just saying. I wanted to fucking fight after that. It was that good.
Listen, I think that there's so many things that are positive about that movie, and I think that there's so many things that people should be looking forward to. And you know what? Another great example is Power Rangers, and I'll tell you why. I think it's so cool that R.J. Kyler, who played Billy the Blue Ranger, was on the spectrum, because that's somebody that people can relate to and look up to.
Right.
It's also super cool that Becky G's Trini, as they call her in the movie, is I guess sexually ambiguous, because that's something a lot of people struggle with. I like seeing diversity. I like the fact that this Wonder Woman, and I think it's a smarter choice now that I even think about it, is that, yeah, she might not be this hulking woman that needs to smash heads, but not every woman out there is a hulking woman that needs to smash heads. You just need to be a strong woman. Yeah. And I think that that's the important message that they're trying to send there.
Mm-hmm. Right. So I have a question. So there was a lot of controversy surrounding RJ and Becky with their stuff. So they were like, oh, so not only did they not make the Black Ranger black, they made him autistic because he's the black character. What do you guys feel about that?
I think I'll tell you why. I think that here's my take on this is that they didn't make him just to be a black kid that was autistic. They chose a great actor that could portray that. Because anybody that's ever met RJ in real life knows that that's not him at all.
Oh my God, it's
not him at all. But you walk away from that movie thinking, this kid, listen, There's a reason why he's in this new I'm Up Here Dying show on Showtime now. There's a reason why he's in War Machines with Brad Pitt. It's because this kid is a good actor.
Yes.
And forget about, I don't care which one of them was autistic. I'm just glad they did it. But they chose honestly, they chose the strongest actor to do it.
Well,
he was the strongest actor in that cast. Let's be real.
And I feel, well, he was the engineer. Right? He was Billy, right? He was the engineer. And the reason they had it that way is so, okay, when you're autistic and you are on the spectrum in particular ways, there are things that you do focus on and you excel beyond anyone else.
Right.
And his happened to be engineering. So it just made sense that it was like, okay, how are you going to be, okay, I understand you're a ranger and now you have the power and, all that stuff, but you don't gain this amazing level of intellect. But if someone happens to already be an engineer and have to understand that, all of a sudden I can take care of it if something needs to be fixed or blah, blah, blah. But it's even beyond when you're autistic because now this becomes your focal point. So for me, it made sense. I don't feel that it was detrimental as far as him being a black individual and autistic. I felt it was just a character that is autistic that actually helped him excel as far as being his character.
Right. Because I remember when a lot of that happened, it's like, oh, the black guy got the short end of the stick again. It was like, why is that a bad thing? They're like, why are you calling autism? Like, I remember reading comments like that. Right? And I'm just like, what the fuck?
I mean, he said the black guy got the short at the end of the stick again. What's wrong with that?
I get it.
Y'all know what I mean.
No, I
I
agree.
words right.
No, I agree. I think that it's extremely important to know that I will say this: for as much money as Power Rangers didn't make, I think it's more important that they put that movie on screen for a few different reasons. For the fans that have been craving it, number one, and for people, honest to God, people didn't turn out for that movie, but I hope a lot of people go and see it either on Blu-ray, DVD, or on HBO, or whatever service it may end up on. Because I think when people do see it, they're gonna realize that, oh, this actually was a good movie. Like, that's the thing. And truth be told, me personally about the movie, all the best stuff was about the stuff before they actually became Power Rangers.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think that's the most interesting part about the movie. So if people go and watch it and really embrace it and take it for what it is, first of all, it's leaps and bounds above the show. Definitely. Second of all, it's just a good movie. Forget about the name Power and Ranger. Just watch it it's a good movie.
Yeah, watch it for the ride.
Yeah, definitely. And then automatically ask the question at the end, what happened to the van? I mean, just ask that question.
Guys,
that's a question you want to ask.
I do have a question for you guys. I want to talk about the most overrated thing in geekdom right now.
Overrated?
What is your most overrated thing in geekdom right now?
The fidget spinners?
Oh, that's a great one, the fidget spinners. Now, what's grinding your gears on the fidget spinners, Darrel?
That there was a news article that one guy tried to shove it up his butt.
Oh, God.
This is why we can't have nice things.
I don't, well, okay. I fell on it. 1. 2, it may have not been an accident, but it happened. No,
fidget spinners. Fidget spinners are up there so far for this week.
Fidget spinners are up there. I can't stand them either, actually.
I mean, I'm all right with them. They're not the worst thing that I've ever seen, like, someone come up with. They could be so much worse. It could be another app. It
Are
could
you
be
also
another...
on fidget spinners? That's the most overrated thing?
Right now it is. I just feel like, and you're really taking advantage of something. Individuals that they happen to have ADD, ADHD, whatever it may be, and
Xavier Clark agrees with you guys.
You're taking advantage
fidget
of
spinners
these
all day, LOL.
Yeah, you're taking advantage of these people because it's like, okay, it was created for them, and now everyone has one. Yeah, because I have a mild case of ADD. No, you don't. No, you don't. But you just need to get it because
if you got one, if you got one purely to get one, just to like have it, fine, whatever. But don't get it just to be like, oh, I'm cool now. Look at all the tricks I can do. Like, shut up.
Oh, you're saying fidget spinning is the new vaping?
It's the new. That's what it exactly. That's literally what it is.
You're no longer sucking a robot's dick, but you're playing with his balls. That's exactly what you're doing. You're not sucking a robot's dick when you're doing vaping anymore. What you are doing, you're playing with the robot's balls by fidgeting them. That's what you're fucking doing. Congratulations. Go ahead and continue. So walk around with your vape stick doing this because that's all you're doing. Just sucking balls and playing with it. God damn it. That's That's what's happening.
You're getting a lot of LOLs.
That's exactly it. Man. That's exactly it.
So my friend Ash, you guys know, yeah. So he's like, he wants to get one. He really does want to get one, just for the sake of having one. But he doesn't want to get one because the internet says he'll be a terrible person because of it. Because they're made for autistic people, and if you get one because you're not, then you're a terrible person. What are your takes?
Karina's watching. She's laughing. I honestly could give two shits about fidget spinners. I don't care. I mean, I think they're entertaining. I thought Jezzer tried to be cool and buy one of these fidget cubes. Like, you're an idiot, man. Come on. I'm just kidding, Jezzer.
No, but we do know someone that does have one, but they actually do have it for a need, and I'm like, fine.
I'm just putting his business out there.
I know people that have one for a need, and I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. I didn't say anything. I didn't think anything.
No,
like,
fidget
okay, you have a
spinners
need. Fine.
they are super, like, you know what it reminds me of? Like this craze of fidget spinners. It's like when I was a kid of Pogs. It's kind of like, really, dude? Like these little cardboard things? And I was into Pogs, by the way.
I got my slammer.
But then I grew up and I learned to not follow the crowd and just my own individual.
Yeah, like the fidget spinner thing.
Well, they're only like $3,
The fidget
$5,
spinner thing
$7,
could be significantly worse. It could be like a new app that everyone's like downloading, or it could be a new like. No, not Pokemon. Well, Pokemon Go was
Pokemon
good
Go.
for most people.
Well, no, I'll tell you what. Dusk751 says an iPhone. That's the most.
Yeah, it could be like the fidget spinner craze could be so much worse, and so I'm fine that it's just that. Whatever.
Saturday Night
So
Live.
here's another really thing, just building on that craze. Did you guys know that apparently, it's a rumored thing, it has been confirmed, that there's supposed to be a cartoon or anime based on fidget spinners?
No.
It's supposed
like,
to be...
It's not like Angry Birds. Come on, man.
No, listen, it's supposed to be made by the same company that...
This is what he likes Suicide Squad, love Batman v Superman, and I bring up Angry Birds and his response is, hey,
that movie was funny.
Have you guys seen that movie, by the way? Anyway.
I did. I didn't expect to. And I
was-
was like,
it
oh
was
shit,
funny.
it was actually funny.
Anyway, so the fidget spinner anime thing, it's supposed to
It's
be
on
made
Netflix.
by the same people that did Beyblade.
of course.
Oh my god.
So
they're
let
just
your
like, yeah,
imaginations
come on.
take you wherever that may
Come
go.
on.
Because
Come
that
on.
sounds, in my head, that sounds like, oh my god, that's something only Japan would make up.
Here's something for me that I think is overrated in fandom. I might be a little late on this, but I think it's super overrated, honestly. 13 Reasons Why.
I haven't seen it.
Ooh.
Listen, people were hyping it like it's the next Stranger Things.
That is true.
It's okay as a show. It is. You know what it is? It's Riverdale. It's like on the same level. Riverdale's not a bad show. 13 Reasons Why, not a bad show. But is it deserving on this praise that it was getting? No.
Does it make everyone have to like? Oh my god! It's one of the most
Trends,
great
trends,
things you
man.
have to.
You know, I'm
watch.
probably gonna get a lot of flack for this, but I didn't find Stranger Things like amazing.
I know. I can see
wrote
that.
something about how I didn't, and I
It was
started
just-
citing inconsistencies as far as the timeline.
I mean, the timeline wasn't even that.
I was
It was
like,
like,
this poster wasn't made until then. And how
you were
You're
that
an
guy?
idiot. Yeah, I just wanted to piss people off.
I hate that. You know what?
I was so upset with it at that point. I was just like,
by the
fuck it.
time I
You
got to
think
the
you love
end
it?
of, by the time I got to the end of Stranger Things, because everyone was already talking about it. I was super late to the party, and I'm like, I mean, that was kind of cool. It wasn't whatever.
I think more so people liked it. They were around my age is because it was my era. But at the same time, in my era, nobody used the word douchebag. And that was a big thing. They would say douchebag in their dialogue. And I was like, you fucking morons. You stupid idiots.
You mutt.
But Dust751 says, 13 Reasons Why. It just made me want to kill myself. Don't. On the newsfeed.
Don't do
Man,
that.
dude.
Please do not do that. We did do a thing on the
We did
newsfeed on
this-
Monday.
Man, dude.
Like, you can joke about that, I suppose, but don't actually do it.
No, but,
don't actually
but
do it. It's
there
bad
were-
for life expectancy.
There were moments on that show where I'm sorry, I watched it and I thought to myself, this is very rapey. Because I understand.
I always think that in
the theme-
episode 20 of Sword Art Online. Every episode 20 of Sword Art Online, I always feel like that.
Oh my
like,
God.
The first season has
first
it when,
season
when like the boss is like fondling Asuna.
Well, dude,
And then the other guy like tries to like kind of like he's like the pizza man that kind of like it's weird. I love that show, but it gets kind of rapey at
It
points.
does,
Sword
but
Art Online
dude,
is a-
it's
a
because
fun show.
that show has a moment where all it does, it's like, all right, this
Joe
one girl,
Roard says, hello, guys. Hello,
hey,
Joe.
this one girl gets raped, and it's like, okay, great, and I can see why she's feeling horrible and things like that. I get your point. And then after that, same girl gets raped like again, and then after that, a friend gets raped, and it's just like, what? Okay, we can clearly see this one guy has a problem.
Yeah.
How has no one said anything?
Yeah.
And everyone's just going around like, well, it's... But then they say, according to the book, this is how it is in real life, where it's like, they shame you so you don't... I get that part. But just seeing the show, it was too much. After a while, like... Oh man,
See, I haven't even
don't want to
seen
watch this anymore. Like I haven't finished the series because I was just like, I'm done with this. I just feel like, oh.
See, I haven't even seen this,
Let me watch
and you've
Master of
already
None.
had me
I don't-
like by saying that the rapes keep happening. That's
Yes.
already like, there's no need for that.
Yes,
Are you
it's just-
what?
oh.
See,
So
you've
right
already
now,
turned me off to the
I'm going to
series.
catch Joe up to what we're talking about right now. We're talking about things that we think are overrated in geekdom, and right now we're on Stranger Things. This was right after the fidget spinner conversation.
Yeah, and then we just
I can't wait for
talk
the
about
anime.
how 13 Reasons Why. But that fidget spinner, they had a Saturday Night Live sketch where they were like, the great way, present her, like, show her you love her with diamonds, blah, blah. It's just a fidget spinner with diamonds on the end.
Oh my
and it's
God.
like, to distract her. And then she's really stupid. And it's like, you're somewhere having dinner and she's saying something. You're like, I don't want to be embarrassed, but I want to tell her stop. And you're like, he just handed her the fidget spinner. She's like, dirt, oh. And she just starts spinning.
Do you
It's
think
pretty?
there are
And I was
people,
like, okay.
there are the people that don't understand fidget spinners, but they buy one just to look cool, like walking down the street, fidget, like doing the... There are,
They're
for
just
sure.
running around spinning on their finger. Look, guys, I'm doing something.
Look, if you get one for attention, that's what makes you a terrible
Yeah.
person. Like if you get one just to be like, whatever, I'm just sitting at my desk. Oh, you have a fidget spinner? Yeah, it's whatever. Like that's fine. I don't care.
So
You-
we talked
you do
about
you.
we talked about the most overrated thing in geek world right now. Let's talk about the most underrated thing. Darrel, what do you got?
Like the only thing that comes to mind right now is the Power Rangers movie, but that's only because it didn't get the love it
Are you
deserved.
saying this as a Power Ranger
No,
fan?
no.
Come on.
I am,
Just kidding.
but as a movie, we can all agree that like this movie wasn't a bad movie. It was a generally good movie, and just no one saw it because critics like fucked it up like before it even came out. And like, oh, that's not my Power Rangers. He's not Mighty Morphin. Where the fuck are the diamonds? Why does it glow up? Shut up! Like, I hate that shit. Like you MMPR elitists. Like, fuck you guys.
Everybody in this episode today has gotten their like moment of like really getting it.
Like-
Like,
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel that way about a lot. But you know, Power Rangers, it's very near and dear to my
one
heart.
man, Sentai, says he agrees with you. I think Power Rangers is almost always underrated.
Yeah, it's just, and that's the thing. Like, here is its movement to finally shine. But because they're not the originals in spandex, people just didn't like this movie, and that's why. That's the only thing that comes to my mind as far as underrated. Like recently, I'm trying to come up with something else, but that gets me mad.
Daniel, most underrated thing in geekdom right now.
Reading. I know it's weird, but it's true. People aren't
in
doing
the
that
book.
shit anymore, man.
Reading
It's
way
driving me insane.
more.
Like, okay, Game of Thrones was it. Game of Thrones was it. That's the last time geeks have fucking read. I don't understand what's going on anymore, guys. There are a lot of other books out there that maybe we can read.
I
that
read
can,
manga.
Yeah, well,
I read My Hero
It does count.
Academia.
I'm just saying, like, just reading, guys. Books are great. I'm just saying. Everyone's like, well, fuck, if I cannot read in any way. Literally, people are jumping to books on tape because they're just like, fuck it, I can't do this anymore. I understand you may be busy and you can't read while you drive, so you got a book on tape. That's cool. Podcasts are dope too. That's great. But people aren't reading anymore, man. I'm just saying.
I mean, that
Try it.
includes that's all around across the board. I
Fucking
mean,
try
dude,
it.
reading-
comic books too. Like if you think
There's
about
less words in comic
like
books
people
now.
are like, oh, Guardian.
See?
That's what happens if you don't read.
What I pointed out right now, our producer over there is so outraged by the fact that people are not reading. He is breaking our set over there. That is what what the f***?
He's not even breaking our set. He's breaking somebody else's
someone
set.
else's set. That's how upset he is over the lack of reading, guys. I'm just saying. Even in comics, like there are less words in comics now. Splash pages galore because they're just like, people don't want to read anymore.
You know, I do want to read. You know the new Harry Potter book, Cursed Child, whatever. I bought that. It's still sitting on my shelf, and I have not touched it
looks
because
kinda daunting.
I just don't have the time to like sit down and read it. And it's just the worst because I see it on my shelf like right before I go to sleep. I'm like, I'll read you one day. Like,
Dude, I would just challenge you if you could do it yourself, if you could figure it out. I know it's a big one. I've heard other people say it lately, 50 pages a day. That may be too much. 20 pages a day.
I'm gonna try.
Trust me, if you do 20 pages a day, you'll be like, oh shit. And you'll find yourself almost done with it.
I'll try. I'll definitely
that's
try.
fine, whatever.
Underrated thing.
Be a dork, be a nerd, actually read.
Yeah. I think the most underrated thing right now that's going on in geekdom is, I don't know. I don't know if there is actually an underrated thing personally. I don't think
Everything's oversaturated?
No, I wouldn't say everything's oversaturated. I think the underrated thing right now is there's not enough conventions. Get the fuck out of here. There's too many conventions.
There's way too many conventions now. I mean, it's not a bad thing.
Actually, you know what? Honestly, I'm gonna have to agree with Darrel. I think the most underrated thing right now is actually I'll not necessarily Power Rangers, but I think it's source material. I think that a lot of people are seeing things and not understanding what the source material is. Guardians of the Galaxy is a great example. And
definitely.
I loved Guardians of the Galaxy, and I think it's a great. I can't even say retelling of a story because it's not a retelling of anything.
Right.
It's
its own little thing.
But I think that with understanding the source material, because I'm sure you guys have run into these conversations, and it's like, I saw this, and that's not the way it is in the movie. Motherfucker, it's based on a comic book.
It's its own thing. I hate these conversations. Like when people are talking about like Arrow, for example. Like I know you guys don't like Arrow, but it's like, oh, it's Batman. It's its own thing. It's a show.
But it is Batman.
But it is Batman. I'm not gonna deny it. But it's like that's an example of it. It's like it's supposed to be its own thing. Or like Power Rangers or Guardians or what was that other thing that just came out that everyone like bitched about that wasn't exactly everything. But
That's everything.
That's
yeah.
everything. It's like
Another thing that annoys me.
get off your high horse.
This is a little bit of a joke, but kind of serious. Is that when listen, Overwatch. Here's my thing.
Okay.
Overwatch as a game
please.
is fine. Overwatch as a game is fine. I'm okay with it. It's fine. I understand it. But when somebody tells me, and this legitimately happened, when somebody tells me, because you guys were doing the video game show,
yes,
and I was there, and I wrote it in your guys' chat. I said, the only reason I don't like Overwatch is because it doesn't have a story. And the response I got from one of your co-stars on that show was, well, read the comics. There's a story there. Why the fuck should I have to read a comic book to understand the storyline of a video game? Those are two different mediums. You know what I mean?
Like even with Injustice.
I'm not shitting on Overwatch, by the way. It is a good game.
Even in Injustice, Gods Among Us, yes, there is a comic, but they tell you everything in the game. So why should I have to read the comic?
I'm going to change my answer from fidget spinners in S terms of overrated to Overwatch.
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna have to change that because as much as I love Overwatch, I do.
Darrel's about to get he's so happy. He's only saying this because he's not on the video game show anymore.
Is that a Nickelodeon slime bucket?
I don't know what's happening.
No, it's just because as much as I love Overwatch, it's like I'm a very campaign story driven person, and as much
I'm not a gamer, what am I saying?
As much fun as I have playing the game, it's like, yeah, okay, cool, I beat you, we won this round. All right, let's wait till next match. It's the same thing over and over and over. And I get it, people find fun in that, but I wanted to know more about the story. And so
says the guy that plays Power Ranger Legacy War. I'm just kidding.
It's a fighting game.
It's
fighting
literally
games,
the same thing over and over again.
It's a fighting game that you play while you're waiting to go into somewhere. That's fine. That's different.
Shut up, Joe. Anyway.
It's different.
So, the thing is that, if you go online or, you read the comics, you'll know that, all these characters have a really rich and, awesome history.
Yeah.
And the thing is that, when you go into the video game, you attach these characters really well enough. But then it's I want to play your story. I want to learn what you went through. And so Overwatch released this Uprising, which was basically, it's a campaign-based multiplayer mode, which in retrospect is cool. That means they want to explore that campaign. But the thing is that they released a game, and when I bought it, I was expecting more. I was like, is this it? I can't do any more than that?
Can I play on my own?
Yeah.
Like not have to
can
play
I
with other
explore
people?
the
Guys,
story of Overwatch?
I want to ask you. I agree with you on Overwatch wholeheartedly. I couldn't agree more. I did want to ask you earlier on the newsfeed, which isn't going to air yet. It'll be out on Monday. One of our big stories there. Spoiler alert! If you're a hardcore #show fan and don't want spoilers, I guess. Spoiler alert! Daniel spitting that truth is what they were saying. It was just. But I think one of the biggest things is summer movies. So I want to know what your most anticipated. That was a story we did on the newsfeed.
Yeah.
What was the most anticipated summer movie for each one of you guys? And we'll consider Guardians of the Galaxy really kicking it off.
Oh, really? Okay. For me right now,
Really think about that, though.
I don't know.
what is still coming out? I don't even know.
Okay, do we have a list of? I'm sure there's a list.
Yeah, like give me a list of movies because
JLA comes out when?
No, that's in November.
I mean, the thing is, like, I personally like the Transformers movies, but I watch it for the ride. That, like, God forbid, they're
I don't
not.
know what you just said.
They're
right
not. They're not like. Oh come on! They're
I
not
really
incredible
like the Transformer
movies.
movie, but I like it for the ride.
They're not incredible movies, but like watching the shit happen on screen is so cool to me. I don't know.
That was your
That's
mother.
just me.
Here we go. Here we go.
Are you ladies man 247?
right.
Are you ladies man 247? Where are the glasses?
So, movies to be excited for this year. We have Guardians of the Galaxy, Alien Covenant, Baywatch.
I'm actually kind of looking forward to Baywatch.
Oh, it's already out and got killed in the box office.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I was not expecting that.
Wonder
That
Woman,
looks hilarious.
The Mummy,
The Mummy,
Transformers, The Bad Batch, which has no buzz whatsoever. It has Jason Momoa in it, though. Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yes! Actually, I'm really looking forward to
War
that.
for the Planet of the Apes. We got Valerian, which I'm hearing good things about.
I've
but
heard
I
good
don't
things
think it's
about
gonna
that
make
too.
any money,
Yeah.
personally. The Dark Tower. Hitman's
Oh!
Bodyguard. Nope. What else we got?
Even though that looks funny. That looks so good.
And that's I mean that we're already pretty far deep. We're past the summer at this point.
Okay, so those are listed.
Homecoming is probably, if you're not counting Transformers, so legitimately, I'm really looking forward to Homecoming because this is Spider-Man's. He's back home, literally.
That's why it's called. It's so
And
many
just
different
all
reasons.
the stuff that that I've seen in these new trailers. Spoiler alert! If you have been avoiding the trailers, he has all this really cool Iron Man Stark gear now, and I'm just like. I get it. It's cool. He comes from the Civil War movie. But I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does.
The trailer.
this new Spider-Man.
The trailer pretty much gives us so much.
Spoiler: he wins.
But he starts off with the Iron Man stuff. We see in the trailer, okay, it's taken away, and then it's like, well, this shouldn't be the thing that makes you a hero.
Well, the
which I
consensus
get.
right now in the chat is Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, no, I'm not looking forward to it as much as I am. Well, if I hadn't seen it, was Wonder Woman. But the reasoning behind that's a little different. I think Spider-Man is a story that we've seen before. The only way to really wow me with that movie is if the high school stuff is good. I could care less about everything else because I've seen everything else.
Yeah. The thing is, the reason why I'm looking forward so much for Homecoming. Wow, Darrel, good job. Is that it's just we've seen the same story over in Spider-Man and then Amazing Spider-Man. This is the upcoming story, but it's from a different perspective. He already has the knowledge of being a hero, more or less.
Yeah.
And so it's different now. So and now that Marvel has their hands on this, you get to see him become his own hero without the Stark gear. Hopefully, maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm really hoping for. So this is a different take, something that we're not completely used to. But yeah, I really hope the high school stuff is on point.
I can agree with that. For me, I guess if he chose that, and I'm thinking we're gonna choose Wonder Woman. I'm gonna Dark Tower is my jam, dude. I mean, I read the book. I know it's not gonna be like the book,
Reading.
but yeah. I know it's not gonna be like the book, but I'm not one of those Game of Thrones guys. It's like, well, wait, it's not like the book. I hate everything.
I like your
about this.
elitist.
I
I like your
that's it,
elitist
that's
better
it,
than my
that's it,
elitist.
I said not
I
gonna
only
lie.
watch the Sentai. It's far superior to Power Rangers.
Are you
either way it
watching
goes.
Attack on Titan? I knew it when he was coaching Shingeki no Kyojin.
Oh,
Listen, I'm looking. A lot of people are agreeing with you on Spider-Man. Also,
But I would say
Jezra has Kingman 2 in here.
Alien Covenant.
Oh, King.
Wait,
Shit,
did you
that's
just say Alien Covenant?
Yeah, I
That's a
enjoy
big
it.
movie?
I'm a Alien.
You know it
guy.
already came out, and,
Yeah, I know,
and people
I
are
know.
saying that movie is terrible.
See, that's the problem. The people that are saying it's terrible
Because
you're not really
you don't
Alien
know
fans.
Daniel. He likes terrible shit.
Yeah, no, but you're not an Alien fan. It was actually written one fill in some of the holes that we got from
Prometheus.
Prometheus. But if you actually paid attention, Prometheus didn't really create holes. It's like, hey, here goes the origin for all this happening. Here are these architects, blah blah. Anyway, but that was there, and I enjoyed that. But I'm changing it all to freaking Kingsman, because
Kingsman, yeah.
that
Kingsman?
movie,
I will
the
agree.
first one,
I think-
oh my god,
I think Kingsman's the sleeper. Kingsman
Kingsman
is,
did not get
it's not a
enough.
sleeper, dude. That movie
It's a
is so
sleeper.
good.
Kingsman,
No, I agree with
in terms
Joe.
of in terms of sleeper. I mean, it's
Oh,
people.
okay. I see.
People never saw the first one coming. Kind of like a John Wick.
Yeah.
and it's like
Yeah.
I think Kingsman is like that too. It's like one of those things where it's like, oh, I'll go watch a movie this week. This movie, you walk out, this movie's amazing.
Yeah.
Kingsman's really good.
I
And I
completely
almost
agree
will
with
change
that.
my answer too to Kingsman too.
And funny enough, I'm a bad parent, man. I took my kid to see that movie. We were so happy that we saw that movie. Thank God, 'cause we could have saw some crappy ass movie. I don't know what the hell was some girlfriend, my girlfriend at the time, and could have saw some crappy ass movie. But we saw that instead, and we were just like, yeah, we came to saw the right movie. I'm doing something horrible to you right now as a young child because you should not be watching this.
No, Dad, you did
Yes,
good.
it's
You did good,
blood
Dad.
and shooting. I did. Thanks, honey.
All right, so
That's
this
it.
is going to be
That's
my
it.
last question of the night, and then we're gonna call it. Actually, I'm really first of all I want to thank all you guys for
Thank you
sticking
guys for
around.
tuning in
Actually,
for all the BS that we've been
yeah,
spouting.
we've been literally just talking about random things, and the numbers have sustained the whole time.
But this is
so I
what
guess
we-
they really like what we're talking about.
Yeah.
These are
But this is literally the
This is
conversations
literally
we
what
have
we
here.
want, so
These
it's
are the-
fine.
Yeah, these are the conversations. You guys have no idea. These are the conversations we have, like
Off camera?
Yeah,
Now we're finally having them on camera.
yeah. So
Yeah.
you guys
So-
are getting to catch up on them.
So the last question I had was, what do you guys feel about Sony making all of these superhero movies now? They're gonna do Venom, which is already cast Tom Hardy. Black Cat and Silver Sable are now coming out in their own movie. I'm really curious to see what you think. Or is this a cash grab? Is this
I think it's a
what is
cash
this?
grab.
Like tell me about it.
I think it's a cash grab. They already lost lost, quote unquote. And so,
Only for the next few movies.
I know, but in my opinion, Sony, like, superhero movies are not good. And I don't know why that's the case, because they have the full ability to make it good.
Well, the original Spider-Man, the first two Spider-Man movies, the second Spider-Man movie, a lot
There
of
you
people
go.
really liked.
There you go. The second one.
You didn't like Amazing?
I like the first one, kinda.
I liked.
I didn't like the second one.
I liked the second one. I liked the second one a lot.
Wow.
Really? Why?
It was a
It felt
Pharrell.
right.
It was a
I don't know.
Pharrell music video.
It did.
It felt like Joel Schumacher directed Spider-Man. Like it felt like the Batman.
It just minus nipples, and instead Joe Schumacher was like, Pharrell, how would I make a music video? And oh, great. So electricity will resonate.
Oh, come on, that was
Sound
funny.
and song, and it was like, and it was the soundtrack of the actual film and the score.
And even Jamie
It was
Foxx was
stupid.
so over. He was like,
Oh shit!
you know what? Jamie Foxx honestly reminded me of like the Arnold Schwarzenegger, like, oh, like what was his?
Ice
line?
to freeze you. Like it was instead of nice to meet you, it was ice to freeze you, and I would say freeze, but you already know.
And the
There's
one,
something like that.
I think the thing I hated the most about it though is the little kid that the cops are just holding the people back, and like Rhino's there, and just
Oh, at the end?
But it's like, wait a minute, you're holding these. Your concern is these people that you're holding back, but not the kid that's gonna get killed by the Rhino.
Yeah,
Seriously.
no, totally. But like, there was another way. I forgot how that scene exactly played out. But I wanted Spider-Man to help the kid like take the thing down.
Yep.
I
would've
The
been
way
Really?
I
What
would
a
have
kid.
done it was I would have wished that kid would have turned around, and Spider-Man saves the day. The kid turns around, the same thing happens, and then Spider-Man goes up to him like he went up to Jamie Foxx's character, and he says, "Hey, I need my eyes and ears on the street. What's your name?" And the kid would have taken off his mask. He would have been a little black kid, and he said Miles. And then I would have been like,
That would have
"All right,
been
you would have
awesome.
sold me a little bit more on this
Yep.
like universe." That's the only way I would have accepted it.
My only thing with Amazing was that I felt like they were a little too ambitious trying to set up Sinister Six.
Yeah, definitely.
But I mean,
But I feel like Sony's still trying to do that.
but the way that they set it up in that movie, personally, like it felt right to me. I don't know. I've heard a bunch of like different opinions, but it just like it was a good movie in my opinion. It wasn't the best, but it was a good movie for me.
I feel the movie was created to sell the video game because the video game is pretty fun. I just feel
I
like
haven't
that
played
was
it.
it. Every Spider-Man video game is pretty cool.
think-
Like they get better and better.
So
but
Daniel,
that
what was
it.
your opinion on this Sony thing?
Yes.
Really, I agree. Everyone probably gonna all agree. Cash grab. I mean, seriously, Sony, what the fuck? You guys don't even care about the superhero films. You guys really
You
don't.
can't even
You
make
put something-
Fantastic Four like
Well, that's Fox.
that's
That was
oh
Fox.
that's
That was
Fox. But the point still stands.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man is a film where you're just like, okay, let's kind of focus. If you're not going to focus on character, and you guys were like, we're not really going to focus on character, we just want it to look cool. Okay, if you want it to look cool, at least do something that kind of makes sense. You're Eddie Brock, you're emo Spider-Man,
Just make
Sony,
it
you guys
work.
don't care. The second one was good. I mean, that Doc Ock fight and all that stuff, that was great. But after that, what else do you
So
guys got?
here's my take on it. I don't think they're actually going to make any of these movies. I'll be 100% honest with you.
Okay.
I think what they're going to do, and I think I talk about this a little bit in the newsfeed, is I think that they're looking to sell Sony Pictures. And I think they're looking to have Disney buy it. And I think if Disney buys it, they will get all of the rights back to the Spider-Man universe. which is
Oh,
something that they
that's
want.
really
I honestly
smart,
think that's what's happening.
actually.
Because they just lost $700 million in the last few months, and they're hemorrhaging money. So I think this is a way to say, oh, you know what? It's going to make themselves sound more lucrative by offering this up. I think that's what they're trying to do. Another thing, too, is that a lot, and this was rumored a lot at the time, the movie Life. The movie Life starred Jake Gyllenhaal and Ryan Reynolds. And a lot of people thought that this was a backdoor pilot for Venom. And if you actually watch the movie, it damn sure is. It's exactly, they find a little symbiote and it like fucks everything up in the
What
ship.
is this called?
It's called Life.
Oh,
Go watch it. Life is
shit.
probably the best sci-fi movie I've seen in a long time. You watch it, and it turns into almost the symbiote. So it's like this is Life. What I feel like Life is the backdoor pilot for Venom. Go and watch it. It makes so much sense, and you could almost tell that was written for a J. Jonah Jameson son character to go into space and get the symbiote back, and all the rest of this stuff's supposed to happen. That's what it feels like, at least. But it's also written by the guys that wrote Deadpool. So
That Sony thing kind of scares me a little bit. I know we're running low on time because I know there were rumors about like Funimation possibly selling to Universal and Sony. And so if that's the case, say Funimation is taken over by Sony. Sony sells to Disney. Now all that stuff is now under Disney's name.
you think that's bad?
I think that might be bad.
Why? They own the Miyazaki stuff.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like Funimation might be stronger on their own. That's just me. But I feel like I could talk about that on
You
their
know,
own
you
show.
could be right. Maybe Funimation could be stronger on their own, and you know, I think a lot of companies would thrive on their own. But Dan, you have any final thoughts?
About the Funimation thing, I think actually maybe it may be good for Funimation. Giving it a little bit more money gives them a little bit more oomph so they can do a whole lot more. They may end up pushing it where it's like, yeah, we have the app, but F it, let's have our own channel.
Oh, Xavier Clark brings up a great point too about this whole Venom thing. The Venom Life connection is that this is completely true too. Is that there's a scene in there that's a crowd scene. It's actually from one of the Spider-Man movies. So it's the exact same scene. I think it's from
Really?
Amazing Spider-Man.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
there's a crowd scene that's exactly the same. So this leads into more credence that could have all possibly have been connected. I don't know if that's true or not, but if you watch the movie, it makes complete sense.
Like
it's making you want to watch Life now.
I like the fact that they we're gonna make a superhero movie,
Hey,
kind of like
Shadowbird, how are you?
Smallville, but not directly link it until we want to.
Yeah.
I like that. That sounds real. That's a really nice concept.
We still have to go back.
Yep, but I think that's going to wrap it up for us. Guys, I want to thank you so much for sticking around.
Thank you.
This is the kind of conversations we just have here, so we just decided, you know what, we're still here. Daniel finished his Doctor Who show. Darrel and I were next door. We went out to dinner earlier, and we were like, you know what, let's just live stream something. So we decided to do it. We hope you guys like this show. If you want to see more stuff like this, let us know.
Please.
Put it in the comments below because we're probably not going to get to your live chats right now. Let us know because we're working on a lot of cool things. One Man Sentai says, I'd like to hear more about Funimation being stronger on its own. Darrel, you should talk about that in the future. Darrel, you should talk about that on your anime show.
I've
on
been
Thursday.
meaning to, but I keep forgetting. So if you tune in on Thursday and remind me, because I'm most likely going to forget, or Ernie's going to distract me, please remind me and I'll try and talk about it.
And so the thing we have next coming up is, I guess, Monday's Morphin Monday, which Darrel interviews Davi Santos. Also, Sunday, we have the Twin Peaks show that Daniel and I do.
Oh, that's right.
About Twin
They're
Peaks.
going to do a thing.
Dusk 751 once more. So there could be more coming. We're also going to be doing the news feed. That's Jessica and I. And then we have new videos premiering all week long. But you can catch Darrel on what shows?
Well, you guys, I'm no longer on the Tuesday shows for E3. I might show in now and then. But you can catch me on the Thursday Anime Super Chat, which happens, I think, 8 o'clock, 8:15, something like around that time. And then
more as well.
on Saturdays during Ranger Wrap Up and possibly Henshin Hangout if we decide to go live with that.
Henshin Hangout will be on Fridays, actually, but it's not live. Daniel...
Well, you got me on Doctor Who because Flash is over, and because Flash is over right now at the moment, I jump on to shows.
Well, he's on Twin Peaks.
I'm on Twin Peaks.
He's on the anime show
Twin
now,
Peaks.
apparently.
Yeah, it's on the anime show. Just bottom. Hey guys, I need screen time.
If you guys want to see more Daniel,
Yeah, so let me know if you want to see more Daniel, and I mean just me as a person, not. Which I will do for
Super Chat.
for Super Chat.
Chats.
I'll bear my booty.
it'll all go straight to him. It won't go back to hashtag. It'll go straight to him.
Yeah.
And you can catch me on the Twin Peaks show. It's called Welcome to the Red Room with Daniel. I'm also on the news feed, the Ranger Wrap Up with Darrel, Henshin Hangout with you too, Darrel.
Yeah.
And I think and Morphin Mondays also is where you can find me. But thanks for watching, and thank you guys so much for your
Thank you
support.
guys so much.
A lot
You guys
of
are
you
the
do want to
best.
see a format like this. We're getting thank you as well. Dusk751 says, I want more. Ryan Ninja Steel Thomas, when's the next time we're doing a live stream? That's going to be, I think, tomorrow.
Tomorrow for
we'll
Twin
be on
Peaks.
Twin Peaks. Karina says, yes, I want more. One Man Sentai says, I like this type of live stream. I'd like to see more. Shadowbird says, yes, more. So Ryan has been trying to get a hold of you. He says, check out your
I will
Instagram.
definitely. I definitely
Bunch
will.
of dick pics there. But that's going to do it for us here on that hashtag show. Thanks for
They're
watching.
great.
And hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with everything trending.
In geek pop culture. Well, that was